Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Christ in Me podcast. My name is Christina, your host, and today we're going to be talking about a very special topic. I first want to apologize for not uploading an episode last week. I was unfortunately very ill and I couldn't film. So I am so sorry, but I thank you guys for the love and support, for reaching out and actually seeing what is up, what's wrong. And staying patient for the new episode. So thank you so much. Today, I'm actually going to be talking about the topic of friendship. So last week, I did a poll on my Instagram to see with 4 different topics and see which one you guys want to hear about more. And a lot of people responded to friendships. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm actually really happy to be talking about this because friendships are very important to me. I have individual friendships with a lot of individual people, and they're really, really important to me. So we're going to dive into it. We're first going to talk about, I guess, genuine friendships versus toxic friendships. Genuine friendships, honestly, are friendships that you just really feel good. You feel good with the people that you're around. You feel good talking to the people that you're around. Like you feel open enough and comfortable enough to really talk to them about certain issues that are going on in your life. Even certain successes, like successes of new chapters that are opening for you, and you want to share with someone, and your friend, your best friend, is there to want to support you, and that is honestly lovely to have. It's beautiful to have. I am someone that I really rely on God. I rely on Jesus a lot for when I have issues. So like my first priority is to go to him. But of course, it's really important to have a strong community around you and to have some people to fall back on as well. So we're going to be talking about that. And I guess toxic friendships. Toxic friendships, I wouldn't necessarily call them toxic. I would just maybe say that there's some friendships that you just kind of outgrow because you're just not on the same spiritual level as that person. I do know that there are people in your lives that do not have the best intentions for you. Some stuff, it's not even that they're aware of. It's just maybe the spirit behind them that just acts that way towards you, out of jealousy, out of hatred. Um, I mean, out of their own insecurities as well. So it all depends on what the scenario is. I wouldn't necessarily call every friendship that, at least that I had, were toxic. I didn't have like extremely toxic friends. I just had people that I just generally did not have anything in common with them anymore, and there was no more substance to our friendship, and I just needed to close that door once and for all. I wouldn't really put them in a category of toxic, but I would put them in a category of just not for me. God, just like in a category that God just had to remove them from my life for a specific reason. Those kind of friendships, I felt myself getting very disconnected from, due to the fact that there were certain people that it was just all about themselves. It was, I was supporting them, they weren't supporting me. I I would meet up with them, and most of the time it was just all about gossip. And there's a fine line between gossip. Like there's a part where we're in a group setting and like something comes up from the past, and all of us have been involved, so we just kind of talk about what had happened with specific people, and that's fine. But like it doesn't drag on more than that, and we don't kind of bash anyone on that, like bash anyone on what happened. And then there's the aspect of when like someone calls you up and is like do you want to meet up because have tea about this certain person? And it came to the point where I had certain friends that all it was meet up to just talk about other people. And it was nothing to do with my life, nothing to do with their lives. And even if it was a topic other than other people, it was about this person's life only. And, you know, I was never asked about my own things. I was never asked about my health, my, career, my personal life, like nothing like that. And it's not to sound conceited. It's not that like to sound like, oh, like all I wanted to do was talk about myself. But it was also to the point where it's like all I was hearing was the person talking. And when I would try to come to advice, it was like blamed out like nothing. And I mean, I guess God actually did put me in that situation where I had to kind of rely on Him, because in the end of the day, it's like I can't rely on someone else to help me with my issues, help me with what's going on in my life. The only person that I can rely on is really God. And I was put in that situation to rely on God. So I was relying on God most of the time during what I was going through. And these friends that I had them for a while, these friends, and it wasn't toxic. I mean, I had a really, really good time with them. I had a lot of good times. Sometimes they even look at pictures. I'm like, wow, that was a good time with them, And there's nothing but love for them and respect for them. It's just we outgrew each other. And it's okay to outgrow each other, because when you grow older, no matter if you've been friends forever, history does not signify to stay together as friends. We outgrow each other. We have nothing in common anymore. Spiritually, we're on different levels, and it's fine to just close that door and just be like, you know what? It was good. Good times. I wish you the best. I love you from afar. And that's it. Like, you move on. You forgive, you forget, and move on. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really say it was toxic. I don't really believe in toxic friendships, because we all have our faults. We all have our own characters, and that's completely fine. And I was a person that I used to always think of like friendship as really something significant in my life. And I still do, but with the friends that I have now, which put me in a really good place. Before, I used to rely on them to make me feel happy, and to fill that void and everything. And then I realized that the only person that could fill that void for me was Jesus. And when I came to Jesus, then him and the Father actually started cleansing out people that just had no significance in my life anymore. So yeah, I mean, that kind of brings me to God removing people in your life. I came to God at a certain point when I started feeling iffy about certain friendships. And He brought a lot of clarity to me about the situations. And what happened with that was I talked with God, and I told Him to reveal people's true intentions towards me, and also to remove anyone that has no significance in being my life, for like not meant to be in my life, basically. And honestly, guys, like, you have to be careful when you pray that, because God answers right away. God answers right away on those specific prayers. Sometimes He will actually lead up to a cutoff between you and a friend, by revealing just intentions throughout, I guess, a course of months and maybe years. Or sometimes He would really be like really quick with that cutoff. So what happened with me was when I had asked God to reveal intentions from certain people, those were happening over a course of a few years. And those years, I wasn't close with God, but I did ask him about that, specifically in 2022. And I started, kind of reaching out to, the friends, and I used to meet up with them a couple of times. Not every time because I did keep my distance. And when I would meet up with the friends, I would observe everything. And when you observe not their words, but their actions, so when you observe their body language or even their facial expressions, when you say things to them, it says everything you need to know about how they feel. And God was revealing intentions through that way. So there were specific topics I would bring up out of nowhere sometimes. I would bring it up and I would, view someone's facial expression or their body language, and it showed me everything that I needed to know. And then there was just some things that were always kind of iffy. Like there would be people that would jokingly say something about me, and I never used to take it to heart until I had my spiritual awakening, and I was like, whoa, like that's coming from somewhere, that's coming from your heart. It all leads back to the power of the tongue, that anything that we say is a meaning of something. So there was some stuff that were coming to light, and I was like, okay, all right, that's strike one. And then there was other things that involved a bit of the past, and those were strike two, because I started realizing specific significances of what happened in the past with these people. So those were strike twos. And then strike threes were more of the effort. And I'm not talking about like me putting more effort into the friendship than the other person. I'm not the type of person to care about how much I did for that person and then they had to do the same for me. I mean, someone that would want a list, I would be like, okay, well, this is everything I did for you. But it's not the importance of it. I don't care for it. And neither should you guys. No one should care about what you do for others and what they do for you. Like, you should do things out of the goodness and kindness of your heart. So whatever they accept or whatever they do for you in return, that shouldn't matter. It's what you do. Like, God knows your heart, God knows your intentions, and that's all that should matter. So always be good and be kind. But it was more of an emotional perspective, because I was figuring that I was doing all kinds of things for my friend, and I had that type of love for that person, but I wasn't showing the love. I wasn't receiving the love back. And I was looking more towards the emotional aspect of, like, my heart was in a good place, but where was their heart at? And then I started uncovering different types of truths about what God was revealing to me about them. And the thing about God is that He's our Father, right? So we're His children, and He knows what's best for our children. And the reason why He knows is because He sees and hears everything that we do not. So God listened to conversations that I did not know about. God saw things that I did not know about. And He protected me by revealing them to me and making me remove that person from my life or those people. And God, it was funny because I never knew it, because I was always shown as someone that, like, I was kind of blind to a lot of people, and I was always someone that was easily, like, gaslighted and manipulated. And I was like, okay, whatever. But that came to light afterwards, and a lot of people, I would say, were not honest. And with that came a lot of issues where trust issues, a lot of trust issues. And what happened with that was there was certain people that I needed to confront, and I confronted them a bunch of times. But when you're an adult, you don't want to be constantly reminding someone what they did wrong and go on and on and on. Like, I told you once, I shouldn't be telling you twice, 3 times, 4 times, whatever. So it came to the point where I told God, look, remove these people from my life if they are not significant in my life. And what did he do? He did it. He removed the people. And let me just tell you, God will not remove someone if it's not meant to be removed. Trust me. Like, he'll keep you in that friendship or relationship if you need something to learn from, or if you need to change something, like, he'll keep it. So for him to remove it, it means that it really needed to be removed. So what happened with that was that God can remove someone from your life either by their actions or your actions. And I had a lot of people in the past that they were removed by their own actions, but there was also certain times that God removed people from my life from my own actions. And I think specifically when I had asked him about this prayer, when I prayed to him about this, he used my actions to remove like the person from my life. And it never crossed my mind to be like, oh, like, what if I done this differently, or what if I did that differently? I never doubted God because I knew what he was doing. I knew exactly what he was doing. I knew he used my actions to make that person kind of flare up and just be like, let's cut this off. And it wasn't that they said it, but it was more of like the words that they were saying. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Well, bye, distance, that's it. And with that, I was at peace with it. I was completely at peace, and God allowed me to leave in silence, because there's no use of like, I mean, poking the bear further and further if God is removing someone from your life. And with that, it comes a lot of peace, to be honest. A lot of peace. Because you have it in your heart to forgive, forget, and move on, and you're peaceful with it, And even if you were, even if you are or were someone that would want to explain yourself, there's no need to if you've explained yourself prior. And the only time you should explain yourself is if the other person is trying to run their mouth. But even at that, when they're running their mouth and acting like this thing is still going on, God will put them in their place. God will put them in their place. You just leave everything up to God. You stay quiet and just let God do the work. God is the one that's going to defend you in front of your enemies. God is the one that's going to set you a table filled with your enemies and have you, the head of the table, successful. So in the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your ex-friends or anyone would think of you when you have fully set those boundaries and cut them off, because in the end of the day, that's what God had led you to. And when God leads you to it, then you're going to be okay. Like, there's no worrying about it. There's no doubting about it. It was God's will, and that's it. Now, I'm not saying, like, these are about things that happened with me and people that didn't have that had bad intentions towards me. There are certain scenarios which I will maybe get into in another time, that I was one that didn't treat people properly, and that was a lot during my phase of like raving. I had friends that maybe I really wasn't the best to, and of course I apologized to them, and even though they would they had cut me off before I could even say apologies. I really hope that God works in them so that are in a place that they can forgive me. So that's a different story. That's maybe like more in forgiveness that I'm going to be talking about. But right now it's more of like toxic friendships and genuine friendships. So that was like the story of how God will remove people, and hence my own experience, from your life, and just kind of let you know that there's things that happen for a reason. There's people that come in for specific seasons as well. There's some people you could become friends with like for just a couple of months, and they taught you a lesson, or you taught them a lesson, and then that's it. Or there's certain people that, will come in and disrupt your peace because, the enemy loves to do that. So the enemy will send some people, disrupt your peace, and yada, yada, yada. You cut them off. Okay, bye. Then there's some people that you actually know for a long time, but you simply outgrew them, and that's fine. And with that, I mean, there's sometimes people's like friendships don't necessarily end bad. They just outgrow each other, just fall apart. And that's not a bad thing either. I mean, everyone has been through it. I've been through it. You guys have been through it. I'm pretty sure of it. So that's why I'm saying, like, you could just always smile on those fond memories and just move on with it. There's a lot of childhood friends that I had, like, way before even high school, that I still love to this day. Like, I would see them in the streets and I would give them a hug and a kiss and wish them well, but not like we're going to be besties. And that's perfectly fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with loving people from afar, but not having them in your life. And that's what boundaries are. That's what boundaries are. That's what growing up is. And for me, I mean, for anyone that is on their walk with God, the closer you get to the cross, the less your community becomes, basically. So, I mean, I do have a lot of good friendships at the moment. And those friendships, I mean, I do pray that they do stay with me as I reach more, like getting closer and closer to the cross. But it's never guaranteed. It's all in God's will, God's plan, right? So in the end of the day, like, my faith is in God. So whatever happens with friendships it happens. But of course, community is important in this lifetime to kind of, I don't know, be around people that will make you feel good, be around people that will support you in your decisions. It makes life a bit more easier, right? Now, I want to actually touch on the topic of God-sent friends, because there's two different types of people. I have like truly God-sent friends that came to me, and those were the ones that got me into God to begin with, that made me get that foot into like the door to step into a relationship with God. They came to me directly and was like, hey, do you want to come to Bible study? And that was God using them to come to me and be like, come to God, like, come and get to know him. So that's a literal God sent friend, where they bring you closer to God in that way. So they bring you closer and directly to God. So these are people that are part of my Christian community. We talk a lot about God. We talk about different things as well, like our life, but we talk mostly about God. We talk about, we study the Bible. We talk about prayers, how we can improve our prayer lives, how we can, get a deeper connection with God. So these are people that God has sent in my life that I can do life with God centered in it. Like, I'm able to really be with them, and God will be in the room with us. And like, I won't even doubt it. Like, I know that he's with us, because it's said that if two or more believers are in the same room, Jesus is in the midst of them. Like Jesus said himself, he said that he will be in the midst of them. So when I'm around my God sent friends, when I'm around my Christian community, I feel the presence of Jesus. And I know that when we talk about him and when I'm asking questions, everything seems so much more clear because he's there leading us, leading the conversation as well. So that is the definition of like God sent friends and like God really being centered in the friendship. And that is truly a pure form of friendship that you can have because they lead you to God. They lead you to God and they never let you strive away from him. So I love that. That is the first genuine genuine part of it. And then there's a second part of it where I have my friend groups that are not necessarily in their journeys with God, but each have their own time. Of course, everyone has their own journey towards God. Everyone has their own faith and I guess their own timeline. Like God, I am not one to force and I shall never be because God is not forceful himself. So he will never force himself upon anyone. So I will never force God upon any of my friends. So there are my friend groups where, I have friends of Islamic faith. I have friends of Christian faith as well. And we just, we've been friends for a very long time. And honestly, I love them so much. Like, I really love them so much. Just the other day, I was out with my friend group and we were celebrating one of my best friend's birthday and it was just such a good time. It was a good time. It was full of love, full of laughter. And that's how it should be. That is how it should be. Those are like genuine friendships that really last because they're so pure and everyone is just having a good time, having a lot of positive energy being exchanged and you're not being drained by anyone's negativity. So that being said, when we bring God into it, it's not that we're talking about God 24/7 when I'm together with them, but they are so receptive. They are so supportive of my journey with my faith, my journey with God, my journey with Jesus. Like I would tell them like, look, I do carpool karaoke with Jesus. And they will look at me and they would be like, oh, okay, cool. They're not the type of people that would judge. And I feel like I could actually really talk to them about anything God related because they will just sit there and they will listen. They're not the type of people that will shut down the conversation because it's controversial or it's because it's not part of our convo topic or something like that. Like they really are there to be supportive, ask me questions about certain things and let me share my knowledge about God and about Jesus and about the Bible, like anything, right? And I feel like those also are my God sent friends because not only has God been constantly bringing them back into my life, because these are the friends that I were really like, I was distant with when I was really not in a good place. I was distant with because of their positivity and then I was like so negative. And because of these friends always popping up back in my life, I was like, okay, but like, why are they keep coming back? Like it's a friend group and like, there's always like one person that kept like trying to talk to me and trying to like invite me places. And I'm like, but why do they keep coming back? And then God put in perspective that like, stop shutting them out. Like stop shutting these people out. They are here to help. They are here to support you. And it came to my realization when I finally understood that they really are my genuine friends. And, that's like what I said, that when God closes a door, it should remain closed. But there's certain people that he doesn't close the door with, that it's like one, like half closed, half open. And the reason why it's half closed is because we're shining ourselves, but it's half open because those people are still trying to come back in. And it's meant to be like that because God is leaving it open for a reason. And that reason came to light, as I grew older, of course. And the people that I surround myself with now, like my two big friend groups, actually, as I would say, they are the most supportive people in my life. Like, other than my family, on this earth, in this lifetime, my two friend groups are truly there for me. I would be able to call them up and they will listen to whatever I have to say. They care about simply just sending me a text of like I got home safe, if I ate today, or if I, rested properly. And that is true. That's true caring. Like that shows that they truly care for you when friends actually do that, just saying. And then I started seeing, other things happen where I was able to share with them, bad news and good news. And I feel like the the good news was even more good when it was shared, because they were such like hype, they're such hype people, and like they're so supportive. They're like share, and I don't know, they would like always want to know what's up with it, and always want to know like the good things about everything that's happening like in new chapters. And if it was bad news, like they would actually like talk to me, check up on me, like fully make sure I'm okay until I'm actually okay. And I love those kind of friendships, and I feel like they are God sent as well, because of the fact that they make life so much easier. And I know that I have Jesus, I have the Father to fall back on. I fully he's always supposed to be my first choice. When something is wrong, I go to him. But it's also a really amazing thing to have those friends to always have your back, and to always be like, look, I got you. If there's something, come to us. And I have that. I can fully say at this moment, in this lifetime, in this place right now, I am such in a good place with my friends, because I know, like, I have, individual friends and individual groups, and they're all just so heartwarming. How I was gonna say heartwarming. They're so like welcoming. They're so caring. They're so supportive. So loving, and that's how it's supposed to be. We're all trying to make it in this life together, and whatever our faith is with God, whatever our journey is with God, we're all just trying to make it. And it's really easier with good friends by your side. And it took me a while to get to where I'm at, because I did go through a lot of people that I wasn't like a good friend towards, because I didn't know better, or that a lot of other people weren't good towards me, and I felt betrayed and down about it. And God made me understand that these people are meant to come into your lives for those reasons, to teach you lessons. And then there's the people that are supposed to be here for the long run, that are true blessings. And that's why they say, like, someone's meant to come in your life either as a lesson or a blessing. That's exactly what it is. Like, if it's a genuine and pure friendship that's meant to last for a long time, that God sent to you, that's a blessing. If it's a friendship that's just for a season, and it's like going to teach you a lesson about something, that is a lesson. That's a lesson. And that sometimes could be sent by God. It could also be sent by the enemy. It depends. Sometimes God will send people into your life for a season, so that he could teach you about certain cycles in your life that are going wrong. So there's also that. Or there's also, like, if you're truly at a state of peace, and then there's someone that comes into your life and disrupts that peace and brings chaos, that is sent from the enemy, because chaos is never going to be anything from God. It's going to be from the enemy. And that's when there's certain people that are like, oh, okay, I know who sent you, but all right, you're not going to disrupt my peace. And you just rebuke them and be like, no, stop talking. So, yeah, I mean, those are the different types of friendships. And I truly love and appreciate my friends that I have. God truly blessed me with them. God really sent them to me to make me feel loved, make me feel welcome, and make me feel not judged from my past. And, there's a lot of people that I used to be friends with, that if I were still friends with, they would bring up my past. And that's not me anymore. And that's not you anymore. If whoever's watching this, whoever's trying to transform into who God wants you to be, you are not your past. So if anyone tries to bring up that past, you'd be like, nah, like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. Like, no, I'm not my past, and you're moving forward. And true friends will never, never bring up your past to, I guess, bring you insecurity or bring you down. Like, they will never bring up your past. Instead, they will focus on your future. They will focus on your now and focus on your future. And they will also bring you closer to God in the sense that you're able to talk to them. If it's not like your Christian community where you're able to have God in every conversation, if it's, friends that are not there yet with their faith, they are still able to bring you to God by you talking to them about God, because you are still in a safe space where the conversation is open, where you are able to plant there's like a seed in all of them. And that's basically evangelism. Like, you are able to plant a seed in them, and whatever happens. That's on God. That's not on me or on you. But just the fact that they leave the floor open for that conversation and they actually ask me about things with God and with Jesus, that already is just like, that's amazing, because they're bringing me closer to God by me talking about him, because it sparks up, of course, my reassurances. And I actually have one of my best friends. She's a very spiritual person, and I love her. Like, I truly love her, because there's some times that I need clarity on a specific situation. And I remember actually just like a couple of weeks ago, I was on a prayer walk and I took a picture, and it was like a green orb. And I was like I truly felt the presence of Jesus. I truly felt the presence of God and his angels during that time, because I was really coming forward to God about certain health issues that I was experiencing, and I felt hopeless. So I was on this prayer walk, I was taking pictures, whatever, and I posted on Instagram of like a video and a picture actually. And the green orb was there, and my best friend, she actually reached out to me and she told me like the meaning of that green orb. And I was like, this is crazy, because it's as if God sent you to just reach out to me. And she actually told me, she's like, I had this feeling that I had to reach out to you about this specific thing, because like I just needed you to know. And I was like, wow, I was in awe. I was amazed. I was actually tearing up for how incredible the situation was, because I was such in a hopeless spot, and what she had sent me confirmed to me what I wanted to know. And that was God using her, like sending her to me to like give me clarity on the situation. And that was just incredible. And I even told her, I'm like, this is insane. This is insane. And it's just things like that, little things like that, that God will use my friendships to spark, clarity of confusion in my life. And sometimes, what they say, like the voice of God, you don't necessarily hear it. Like sometimes it's in you, or sometimes it's through another person. So I hear God in different ways. And sometimes when my friends would come up to me, whether it's my Islamic friends, my Christian friends, they would come up to me, they would say some things, and I'm like, I think that was God. Like God just clarified something through you, but okay, thank you, So it's just crazy. And I'd never felt this way before with my past friendships. And that's my confirmation that those past friendships weren't pure, weren't genuine. And now that I am getting confirmation through those people, it just makes everything better. It just makes everything easier, and life just much more fun, much more loving. And I just enjoy it. And I love seeing my friends. I never feel drained by any of them like I used to with previous friendships. Like I used to be in previous friendships where I would come home completely drained, as if like this person feeded off all my energy. It was insane. And now it's like whenever I meet up with my friends, no matter what group it is, it's truly a good time. That I even get like post gathering depression. Like I would come home and I'm like, that was such a good time, and I feel like I want to go back to them right now. Like it's just crazy. Like there's actually my one of my friend groups, like we actually go to chalets together, and it's such an amazing time that like when I come back, it's like no, but like I want to go back. I want to go back and like be with them because it was such an amazing time. And with my past friendships, it was not like that. And I'm just so grateful and happy now that I have the people around me, that I have them in my life. Like they truly are blessings. And for anyone out there that are struggling, as I struggle with friendships, you will get to a place that I am right now where you have just pure people around you, because you must go to God about it. Like you must, if you are iffy about a friendship, about certain people, you need to go to God and ask them to reveal things to you, reveal their intentions, reveal their heart towards you. Because even though we have a good heart towards people, they may not have a good heart to us. And yes, as children of God, we are called to love, but it doesn't mean that we have to love so closely. It doesn't mean that these people need to be in our life constantly for us to like show them love. We can show them love from afar, and love can even just be forgiving them and forgetting about whatever they done to us and just move on from it. And that's completely okay. That's completely okay. And I learned that over a course of time. But God truly helped me with friendships, because he did tell me that community is important to bring me closer to him, and to, you know, that I could actually learn and kind of grow closer and deeper into my relationship with him. But in the meantime, like he has to also show us what cycles we need to break within our friendships, because there's friendships that will make you either a good person or a bad person. And bad person, I'm not saying that like you're gonna be on a killing spree. Like I'm bad person in meaning like you become characteristics of the enemy, like someone who gaslights, someone who manipulates, someone who lies, someone who has a lot of jealousy and hatred towards others, someone that gives the evil eye towards others. You know, it's just the people that you hang out with are the people that you is the person that you slowly become. And that is exactly what happened to me prior. And that's why there is certain people that I did hurt as well in my past, because of the fact that I did have friends around me that were feeding me things, like feeding things to my heart that were not supposed to be placed there. And it's not that they knew of it. It's just the spirit behind them was like that. And then, so the spirit behind me was like that. That's why they say, you know, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. That's exactly the saying. And when I started cleansing the people out of my life, God, well, not me, actually, God cleansed, God cleansed people in my life, because I just said a simple prayer and then God just started boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh, okay, great. This is good. But because of that, he brought so much clarity into what actually was going on and why I was acting certain ways and the root of certain problems that I had. And when I started getting rid of certain people in my life, I started cleansing off, like stripping off the things that they left in my, like with my spirit. So yeah, that's why there's a lot of things that people from the past, if they come up and be like, oh, like, you remember this and this and this, and I'm like, no, I don't remember, because that's not me anymore. Like, that's not me anymore. Maybe I did that in the past, but now that's not who I'm gonna be. And that's exactly what it is. So yeah, guys, I mean, this was the topic on friendship. I really love this topic because I am truly grateful for the people that I have in my life. I love them with all my heart. I have all the love for them, and they truly changed my life by just being in it. And I know it's glory to God. Like, God is the only reason why they came into my life and stayed in my life to begin with. Like, kept coming back in literally. But yeah, and then there's like my best friends that are just, they're just amazing, amazing people, and we just do life together. And that, you need someone like that. You need people like that, no matter if you have your own personal life as well. Like, of course we have our own personal lives, we have our own families, but when you come together as friends and you just catch up on everything, and there's no hatred, there's no jealousy, there's no competition. It's just like, okay, what's going on in your life, what's going on in my life, this. Okay, I'm here for you, this and that, and that's it. And then you have a fun time together. You laugh, live, laugh, love with each other, and that's it. Yeah. So that's it, guys. This was a topic on friendship. It was a cute topic. May God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back next week with another episode. Thank you. Bye.